Hello and welcome back for episode 18 of Pentagon for Gold. We're currently sitting at the top of the table, just ahead of Sundowns. We've had a somewhat disappointing start so far. We deserve fully to win this game against Sundowns, particularly as they had a player sent off really early. But we conceded on one of the few chances that they had. And then we drew in this game against Cape Town City, where, let's have a quick look at the match itself. You can probably see why I'm a little bit frustrated to have drawn 2-2. But yeah, we just aren't clinical enough, and we missed a penalty as well. Chalice stepped up for it and was apprehensive before he took it, so it was never likely he was going to score. We then got an important 1-0 away win against Bloem Celtic with a rotated team. Today's game is the MTN8 final against Sundowns. I'm fully expecting us to lose this because classic Sundowns games, always we end up just missing out even though we absolutely dominate. But with a bit of luck, we could be getting even more money in to get our finances up over £2 million. Couldn't have said that a year ago. For this game, I've gone with a really strong lineup. Mukamela plays instead of Iverson. I've tried to take Iverson out of the team a little bit recently in order to help him develop, because I think actually he's been a bit overplayed since he joined and he hasn't really been developing at all in spite of his amazing potential. Matsimbi, however, is developing really nicely and is playing pretty much every game, so I'm happy to have him in the starting lineup today. Liam Byrne starts with him and Nsengi on the left-hand side. Buthelezi starts in midfield with Velapai. Usually Buthelezi plays on the left wing, but I didn't have any options that were fully fit aside from that, and Chalice has been a bit rubbish recently. Samuel Obeng starts on the right with Sandoval and Matizwa up front with him. Let's hope we can get a good result and get some money. In reality, the league doesn't actually matter too much because the main aim of this save is to win the Champions League in each place that I go to. But it would be nice to also manage to do well in the league, and we've conceded instantly pretty much. Brilliant. Why are Sundowns always so clinical against us? I mean, I get they're a great team and they're probably better than us, but we always dominate most of these games, and yet they somehow score all the time. For once, though, they are actually a little bit on top in the general game. I hadn't realised Buthelezi and Sandoval are actually starting not fully fit, but I guess that sometimes happens when you just don't pay full attention to the team. Velapai here. Nice run, this. He's probably going to shoot here. What a goal! Phenomenal goal from Velapai. And that will settle the nerves, hopefully. Showing why he's one of the best players in this team, if not the best player in the team. Matizwa is playing up front. He's not as good as the other strikers I have, but he seems to be performing better. I think it's probably because he's got really good off the ball, so he tends to be in the right position. And I don't know, he's just a bit used to playing for us, I guess, whereas some of the other players are a little bit less adjusted. I think he's our only African forward that we have, apart from Makuma, I suppose, but he's sort of been all over the place recently, heading to Brazil and elsewhere. Don't really like any of those options, but I guess we'll go with that one since the assistant's recommending it. So we've got quite a lot of tired players. I'll probably have to bring off Buthelezi at some point, as well as Sandoval. Oh, it's a poor pass, and Koopstad can now send Matizwa free. Ooh, looks like we're getting a penalty. That looked a little bit harsh to me. Who's taking this? Is it Obeng? Mukamela. And he scores. Surprised that he's the one taking that penalty. I wouldn't have thought he'd be the best player available in this team for penalties. Let's have a look at what his stats are. 8 penalties taken, 7 finishing, 12 composure. I guess that's okay for this level. Let's get these guys off. So Sandoval needs to come off probably for Malatsi. And Buthelezi can come off for Chalice and put Velapai into Mazzala. Let's hope these boys can hold on for us. We're certainly controlling the game now, but that is always the case in these games for some reason, and we usually end up on the wrong side of it. Let's get Reyners in on the right. He's got very good finishing, so hopefully he can get a final goal just to confirm the victory for us. Got lots of tired players now. Let's hope that they can hold on. At least Sundowns also have some tired players. In fact, Malambi looks really exhausted. Let's just lower all of this. Don't want to give them any chances. And here we go. We've done it. Another MTN8 victory. Very nice. Now let's hope that that can help motivate our team for the rest of the season, both in the league and the Champions League. I'm not too worried about the Telkom Knockout or the Nedbank Cup. They're not particularly important in my view. Don't get as much money as you would like. We've been awarded 855k. We've won it for the second year in a row. Perhaps we were a bit lucky to get that penalty, but, you know, you'll take what you can get, really. We are the biggest overachievers again, apparently. I guess just because we won it. There's not many teams in it. It's only usually the top 8. So let's see how our finances are doing. 2.414 million. Beautiful. That would be a healthy budget anywhere in the world, really, for many teams. So, yeah, we're doing pretty well. And that means we've got a little break now before the Telkom Knockout first round. I think I might just, you know, sack this off, play the weakest team I've got, because looking at the rules, there's not all that much money that comes from it. I mean, if you win, you get 211k, but I'm not particularly fussed. We've got a fair amount of money now, and I don't want to have all my fixtures stacking up, which happened all of last season, completely ruined our league form. We've now got the draw for the group stage of the Total CAF Champions League. We have been drawn first in the first pot, and we are against Cotton Sport, who don't look particularly impressive. ES Sahel, who I think are a bit better than that, and ES Tunis, who I think are actually one of the strongest teams in Africa. I assume it's the top 2 qualify. Looks like we've probably got one of the more difficult groups, particularly given we are the top seed. But yeah, so if we have a look at the actual tournament itself, who's won it recently? So ES Tunis won it as recently as 2018-19, so they're not a team to be sniffed at. They have won it a few times, in fact. But let's hope that we can win this group and, in extension, win the entire tournament. Well, I did try to bottle this game. I ended up drawing 1-1 and winning on penalties. But actually, if you look at my team, I had put Levenberg into central defence, and he somehow got a 6.9. It looks like my assistant subbed off my goalkeeper, so I guess he must have moved Levenberg back and then brought someone else in. But yeah, it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. I wanted to lose that game, to be honest, because now I'm going to have to play another game again. So cheers for the own goal from Chabalala. I'm going to show you the first game in the group stage against ES Tunis, who, as we saw, have previously done quite well in this tournament. A bit of transfer news. Beloy has agreed to go to Shangshan in the Chinese League 1, which will probably be promoted as well to the CSL at some point. And Matizwa I've accepted a bid from Al Wakra for 105k with up to 155k in potential incomings. So because I wanted to get that striker that's got an expiring contract, I will probably be happy to let him go and then try and buy that guy in the January transfer window. In addition, taking a look at the schedule since that game against Sundowns, we've won every game. We won that TTM game where I was slightly taking the piss with Levenberg playing at centre-back and won on penalties. We also won the quarter-final against Sundowns with a similar sort of team, a bit better, but lots of players were on international duty, as was the case with Sundowns, so I guess that's why we still won. And then we beat Amatux in the Telkom Knockout semi-final straight afterwards with another similar team. So we're now in the final of that, which, given it's against Barocca, I'll probably still play a backup team just because I don't want to tire my main team out too much for the league. We've got a difficult schedule the next few days with a game every 2 days and then a 3-day gap, then a 2-day gap, 2-day gap, 3-day gap, and so on. This is where the season starts to get a little bit ridiculous. For what should be quite a difficult game, which we're supposedly favourites for, but that's only because we're at home, we've got a decent strength team, Beloy starts in defensive midfield as the captain, with Chalice as a box-to-box midfielder. Buthelezi finally plays again on the left-hand side with Matizwa up front. But I've gone for a pretty strong team. I'm going to have to rotate over the next few weeks a lot, so I'm probably going to end up with lots of injuries and tired players and everything, so I imagine my league form will suffer as a result. But if we could get a good start in this tournament, that would be really good. Meziane, Benguit. Oh, that's a cracking finish from El Houni. You can see why these guys have done so well in recent years with finishes like that. Let's see how the table's looking. Match will be bottom, yeah. No goals yet in the Cotton Sport ES Sahel game. Sundowns have gone ahead early against TP Mazembe. But yeah, ES Tunis are one of the teams that have a full squad, even though they're not in a league in the game. But we have equalised with Matizwa scoring a great header. He was left free and made no mistake from Obeng's corner. It's a good response to going behind. We've started to dominate the game a bit. In fact, they haven't had a shot since the 11th minute. And it looks like we're going into half-time level. Come on, lads. Yeah, we've been better than them. And if we can keep going like this, I'd imagine we'd win. Rivas standing on the ball there. Obeng's managed to get to the ball before the defender. And now he has a shot, but it's pretty easy in the end for Ben Krifia. A draw wouldn't be the worst result here, but it would be nice to top the group so we don't have too difficult a game in the next round. If we get through, obviously. And Rivas just places his header over the top. Not troubling the keeper at all. We've played pretty well though. Certainly dominating all the opportunities. If they score here, I'm going to be fuming. And that's just gone over the bar. Buthelezi's a little bit tired, so I think I'll take him off for Sandoval, yes. Who now actually shows as being a left winger as well as a right winger and striker. He hasn't shown us that for, well, ever really. But it's good to see that he's actually fully adjusting to the position now. Let's get Iverson on, and Beloy can come off for Koopstad. Come on lads, let's get a late winner. Levenberg's found Rivas, and he now has an opportunity to run forward. He's found Obeng. Matiz was making a good run in the centre. Obeng's beating his man. Can he get it in? He can. And Sandoval, ooh, it was a difficult volley. Probably would have wanted to get it on target, and if he had, he probably would have scored. Let's encourage the boys. Let's get them a bit more motivated. Yeah, only Chalice hasn't reacted well to that. And Masengi. It's cleared out, a really powerful clearance, and Levenberg's a long way out of his goal, so let's hope there's no mistakes here. Liam Byrne into Rivas. He's found Obeng on the right-hand side. He's beat his man again. Found Iverson. And Matizwa, and he's scored again. This is one thing I'm going to miss about Matizwa. He's not as good as the other players I have up front, but he just scores more. He plays better even though his stats are worse. It's very odd. But I think it's just that off the ball that means he's always in the right place. I think he's got 15 off the ball. Yeah. So that's probably a big factor in him doing a lot better than the others. And we've won that game. Brilliant. And that puts us, hopefully, top of the group. I'd imagine maybe not, because it was only 1 goal difference, so it depends who won the other game. Let's have a look. As you can see, this schedule is ridiculous. So it looks like there might have been a draw in the other game. Let's praise Matizwa's performance. He was phenomenal. I'm going to be sad to see him go, to be honest. Still looks like a pretty strong squad that it's suggested for me. Let's have a look. Yes, so it was a draw in that other game. Let's see if we can have a look at the matches we've just had. So the other game was just a 0-0. Very dull. Slightly surprised there were 2 Tunisian teams in the same group, but I guess the rules aren't the same over there. Anyway, if you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. And I hope to see you next time. Have a great week.